Hi, Dr. Heather here from Wellspring Chiropractic Lifestyle Center. Today we're talking about concussion and how do we measure whether someone actually has healed up properly from a concussion, and how do we even measure if they have a concussion? There's so much ambiguity in this area, and it's important to understand. I mean, even if we look at it historically, like when I was a kid, if a kid thought they might have gotten a concussion, the coach is holding up some fingers and asking them, how many fingers am I holding up? And the answer was always 2. And athletes, they just want to get back in the game. So there were a lot of concussed kids that knew that answer was going to be 2, and they just wanted to get back in the game. And then a few years ago, maybe a decade or so ago, we got the 𝒆𝒄 testing, which is the balance error scoring system. That's what the NFL used. Well, we could see how well that worked. Not very well at all. And then they added the impact testing as another way of doing it. But again, that's been outdated for about 15 years now. And it was showing only 40% of the time that it was giving any kind of accurate information. And so there is some technology that we can use that is FDA approved that we use right here in the office. And what I like about it is, how can we say that one kid is going to be the same as another kid when they get concussed? It's actually very individual. And so what we want to be doing is comparing that kid to himself. So what I like to do is I like to have a pre-test that we can use where we test the child when they're normal. We test that athlete what their healthy normal is. And then if they do get a concussion, we can keep measuring it, and we know that we have to wait until they're back to their pre-injury status, what their normal was before they were injured. Then we know they're ready to go back into play. And the testing that we use, that is the only FDA-approved testing, it actually looks at both the visual, the vestibular, the eyes, the coordination, the cognitive, the proprioception. So it's looking at all those pieces, not just the brain function part that these other tests are quite limited in looking at. And so I love to do that because in a way it's kind of like doing a health selfie, we call it, where we're doing an assessment before any injury happens. And then we're going to be able to assess them immediately if an injury does happen, and we'll know immediately if they have concussion or not, and then we'll know exactly when it's safe for them to return to play. Now, if we don't have this pre-test, we can also use this test when someone has gotten a concussion, and then we can measure their progress as they're getting healthier, and we can get them to a score that we know is in the safety zone, and then they're safe to go back into play. So I hope that you found that this was helpful. If you did, please share it with others, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.